to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. 17 Happy art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season, for strength, and not for drunkenness. 18 By slothfulness the roof sinketh in, and through idleness of the hands the house leaketh. 19 A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh glad the life, and money answereth all things. 20 Revile not the king, no, not in thy thought, and revile not the rich in thy bedchamber, for a bird of the heavens shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. Ecclesiastes 11:1 Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. 2 Give a portion to 7, yea, even unto 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. 3 If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth, and if a tree fall toward the south, or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there shall it be. 4 He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. 5 As thou knowest not what is the way of the wind, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the work of God who doeth all. 6 In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thy hand, for thou knowest not which shall prosper, whether this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. 7 Truly the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. 8 Yea, if a man live many years, let him rejoice in them all, but let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. 9 Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thy heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou, that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. 10 Therefore remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh, for youth and the dawn of life are vanity. Ecclesiastes 12:1 Remember also thy Creator in the days of thy youth, before the evil days come, and the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. 2 Before the sun, and the light, and the moon, and the stars, are darkened, and the clouds return after the rain. 3 In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows shall be darkened. 4 And the door shall be shut in the street, when the sound of the grinding is low, and one shall rise up at the voice of a bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. 5 Yea, they shall be afraid of that which is high, and terror shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall blossom, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his everlasting home, and the mourners go about the streets. 6 Before the silver cord is loose, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher is broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. 7 And the dust returneth to the earth as it was, and the spirit returneth unto God who gave it. 8 Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. 9 And further, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he pondered, and sought out, and set in order many proverbs. 10 The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written uprightly, even words of truth. 11 The words of the wise are as goads, and as nails well fastened are the words of the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. 12 And furthermore, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. 13 This is the end of the matter, all hath been heard. Fear God, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. 14 For God will bring every work into judgment, with every hidden thing, whether it be good, or whether it be evil. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Song of Songs 1:1 The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. 2 Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. 3 Thine oils have a goodly fragrance, thy name is as oil poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. 4 Draw me, we will run after thee, the king hath brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee, we will make mention of thy love more than of wine. Rightly do they love thee. 5 I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. 6 Look not upon me, because I am swarthy, because the sun hath scorched me. My mother's sons were incensed against me, they made me keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. 7 Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest thy flock, where thou makest it to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that is veiled beside the flocks of thy companions? 8 If thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tents. 9 I have compared thee, O my love, to a steed in Pharaoh's chariots. 10 Thy cheeks are comely with plaits of hair, thy neck with strings of jewels. 11 We will make thee plates of gold with studs of silver. 12 While the king sat at his table, my spikenard sent forth its fragrance. 13 My beloved is unto me as a bundle of myrrh, that leaped betwixt my breasts. 14 My beloved is unto me as a cluster of henna flowers in the vineyards of Engedi. 15 Behold, thou art fair, my love, behold thou art fair, thine eyes are as doves. 16 Behold, thou art fair, my beloved, yea, pleasant, also our couch is green. 17 The beams of our house are cedars, and our rafters are firs. Song of Songs 2. 1 I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. 2 Is a lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. 3 Is the apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved among the sons. I sat down under his shadow with great delight, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. 4 He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me was love. 5 Stay ye me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am sick from love. 6 His left hand is under my head, and his right hand doth embrace me. 7 I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes, or by the hinds of the field, that ye stir not up, nor awake my love, until he please. 8 The voice of my beloved, behold, he cometh, leaping upon the mountains, skipping upon the hills. 9 My beloved is like a roe or a young hart, behold, he standeth behind our wall, he looketh in at the windows, he glanceth through the lattice. 10 My beloved spake, and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. 11 For, lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. 12 The flowers appear on the earth, the time of the singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle-dove is heard in our land. 13 The fig tree ripeneth her green figs, and the vines are in blossom, they give forth their fragrance. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. 14 O my dove, that art in the clefts of the rock, in the covert of the steep place, let me see thy countenance, let me hear thy voice, for sweet is thy voice, and thy countenance is comely. 15 Take us the foxes, the little foxes, that spoil the vineyards, for our vineyards are in blossom. 16 My beloved is mine, and I am his, he feedeth his flock among the lilies. 17 Until the day be cool, and the shadows flee away, turn, my beloved, and be thou like a roe or a young hart upon the mountains of Bether. Song of Songs 3. 1 By night on my bed I saw him whom my soul loveth, I sought him, but I found him not. 2 I said, I will rise now, and go about the city, in the streets and in the broad ways I will seek him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. 3 The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, Saw ye him whom my soul loveth? For it was but a little that I passed from them, when I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him, and would not let him go, until I had brought him into my mother's house, and into the chamber of her that conceived me. 5 I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes, or by the hinds of the field, that ye stir not up, nor awake my love, until he please. 6 Who is this that cometh up from the wilderness like pillars of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, with all powders of the merchant? 7 Behold, it is the litter of Solomon, 80 mighty men are about it. Of the mighty men of Israel 8 They all handle the sword, and are expert in war, every man hath his sword upon his thigh. Because of fear in the night. 9 King Solomon made himself a palanquin of the wood of Lebanon. 10 He made the pillars thereof of silver, the bottom thereof of gold, the seat of it of purple, the midst thereof being paved with love. From the daughters of Jerusalem 11 Go forth, O ye daughters of Zion, and behold King Solomon, with the crown wherewith his mother hath crowned him in the day of his espousals, and in the day of the gladness of his heart. Song of Songs 4. 1 Behold, thou art fair, my love, behold, thou art fair, thine eyes are as doves behind thy veil, thy hair is as a flock of goats, that lie along the side of Mount Gilead. 2 Thy teeth are like a flock of ewes that are newly shorn, which are come up from the washing, whereof every one hath twins, and none is bereaved among them. 3 Thy lips are like a thread of scarlet, and thy mouth is comely, thy temples are like a piece of a pomegranate behind thy veil. 4 Thy neck is like the tower of David builded for an armory, whereon there hang 1,000 bucklers, all the shields of the mighty men. 5 Thy 2 breasts are like 2 fawns that are twins of a roe, which feed among the lilies. 6 Until the day be cool, and the shadows flee away, I will get me to the mountain of myrrh, and to the hill of frankincense. 7 Thou art all fair, my love, and there is no spot in the 8. Come with me from Lebanon, my bride, with me from Lebanon. Look from the top of the manna, from the top of Senir and Hermon, from the lion's dens, from the mountains of the leopards 9. Thou hast ravished my heart, my sister, my bride. Thou hast ravished my heart with one of thine eyes, with one chain of thy neck. 10. How fair is thy love, my sister, my bride. How much better is thy love than wine, and the fragrance of thine oils than all manner of spices. 11. Thy lips, O my bride, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. 12. A garden shut up is my sister, my bride, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed. 13. Thy shoots are an orchard of pomegranates, with precious fruits, henna with spikenard plants. 14. Spikenard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all trees of frankincense, myrrh and aloes, with all the chief spices. 15. Thou art a fountain of gardens, a well of living waters, and flowing streams from Lebanon. 16. Away, O north wind, and come, thou south, blow upon my garden, that the spices thereof may flow out. Let my beloved come into this garden, and eat his precious fruits. Song of Songs 5. 1. I am come into my garden, my sister, my bride. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. Eat, O friends, drink, yeah, drink abundantly. O beloved, too I was asleep, but my heart weighed. It is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, Open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, my locks with the drops of the night. 3. I have put off my garment. How shall I put it on? I have washed my feet. How shall I defile them? For my beloved put in his hand by the hole of the door, and my heart was moved for him. 5. I rose up to open to my beloved, and my hands droppeth with
waiting, preparing, paired.
My soul hath failed me when he spake. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. 7. The watchmen that go about the city found me. They smote me, they wounded me. The keepers of the walls took away my mantle from me. 8. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if ye find my beloved, that ye tell him, that I am sick from love. 9. What is thy beloved more than another beloved? O thou fairest among women? What is thy beloved more than another beloved, that thou dost so adjure us? 10. My beloved is white and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000. 11. His head is as the most fine gold, his locks are bushy, and black as a raven. 12. His eyes are like doves beside the water brooks, washed with milk, and fitly set. 13. His cheeks are as a bed of spices, as banks of sweet herbs. His lips are as lilies, dropping liquid myrrh. 14. His hands are as rings of gold set with beryl. His body is as ivory work overlaid with sapphires. 15. His legs are as pillars of marble, set upon sockets of fine gold. His aspect is like Lebanon, excellent as the cedar. 16. His mouth is most sweet, yeah, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. Song of Songs 6. 1. Whither is thy beloved gone, O thou fairest among women? Whither hath thy beloved turned him, that we may seek him with thee? 2. My beloved is gone down to his garden, to the beds of spices. 2. Feed in the gardens, and to gather lilies. 3. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He feedeth his flock among the lilies. 4. Thou art fair, O my love, as Tirzah, comely as Jerusalem, terrible as an army with banners. 5. Turn away thine eyes from me, for they have overcome me. Thy hair is as a flock of goats, that lie along the side of Gilead. 6. Thy teeth are like a flock of aways, which are come up from the washing, whereof every one hath twins, and none is bereaved among them. 7. Thy temples are like a piece of a pomegranate behind thy veil. 8. There are 80 queens, and 80 concubines, and virgins without number. 9. My dove, my undefiled, is but one. She is the only one of her mother. She is the choice one of her that bare her. The daughters saw her, and called her blessed. Yeah, the queens and the concubines, and they praised her. 10. Who is she that looketh forth as the morning, fair as the moon, clear as the sun, terrible as an army with banners? 11. I went down into the garden of nuts, to see the green plants of the valley, to see whether the vine budded, and the pomegranates were in flower. 12. Before I was aware, my soul set me among the chariots of my princely people. 13. Return, return, O Shulamite, return, return, that we may look upon thee. Why will ye look upon the Shulamite, as upon the dance of Mahanaim? Song of Songs 7. 1. How beautiful are thy feet in sandals, O princess daughter, thy rounded thighs are like jewels, The work of the hands of a skillful workman too. Thy body is like a round goblet, wherein no mingled wine is wanting. Thy waist is like a heap of wheat set about with lilies. 3. Thy two breasts are like two fawns that are twins of a roe. 4. Thy neck is like the tower of ivory. Thine eyes as the pools in Heshbon, by the gate of Bath-rabbim. Thy nose is like the tower of Lebanon which looketh toward Damascus. 5. Thy head upon thee is like Carmel, and the hair of thy head like purple. The king is held captive in the tresses thereof. 6. How fair and how pleasant art thou, O love, for delight. 7. Is thy stature is like to a palm tree, and thy breasts to its clusters. 8. I said, I will climb up into the palm tree, I will take hold of the branches thereof. Let thy breasts be as clusters of the vine, and the smell of thy breath like apples. 9. And thy mouth like the best wine, that goeth down smoothly for my beloved, gliding through the lips of those that are asleep. 10. I am my beloved's, and his desire is toward me. 11. Come, my beloved, let us go forth into the field, let us lodge in the villages. 12. Let us get up early to the vineyards, let us see whether the vine hath budded, and its blossom is open, and the pomegranates are in flower. There will I give thee my love. 13. The mandrakes give forth fragrance, and in our doors are all manner of precious fruits, new and old, which I have laid up for thee, O my beloved. Song of Songs 8. 1. Oh, that thou wert as my brother, that sucked the breasts of my mother. When I should find thee without, I would kiss thee, yea, and none would despise me too. I would lead thee, and bring thee into my mother's house, who would instruct me. I would cause thee to drink of spiced wine, of the juice of my pomegranate. 3. His left hand should be under my head, and his right hand should embrace me. 4. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that ye stir not up, nor awake my love, until he please. 5. Who is this that cometh up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? Under the apple tree I awakened thee, there thy mother was in travail with thee, there was she in travail that brought thee forth. 6. Set me as a seal upon thy heart, as a seal upon thine arm, for love is strong as death, jealousy is cruel as Sheol, the flashes thereof are flashes of fire, a very flame of Jehovah. 7. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can floods drown it. If a man would give all the substance of his house for love, he would utterly be contemned. 8. We have a little sister, and she hath no breasts. Keepers, every one for the fruit thereof was to bring 1,000 pieces of silver. 12. My vineyard, which is mine, is before me. Thou, O Solomon, shalt have 1,000, and those that keep the fruit thereof 213. Thou that dwellest in the gardens, the companions hearken for thy voice, cause me to hear it. 14. Make haste, my beloved, and be thou like to a roe or to a young hart upon the mountains of spices. prophet Isaiah. Isaiah 1. The vision of Isaiah the son of Amoz, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, to hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. For Jehovah hath spoken, I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. 3 The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. For a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that deal corruptly. They have forsaken Jehovah, they have despised the Holy One of Israel, they are estranged and gone backward. 5 Why will ye be still stricken, that ye revolt more and more? The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. 6 From the sole of the foot even unto the head there is no soundness in it, but wounds, and bruises, and fresh stripes. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with oil. 7 Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. 8 And the daughter of Zion is left as a booth in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. 9 Except Jehovah of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, we should have been like unto Gomorrah. 10 Hear the word of Jehovah, ye rulers of Sodom, give ear unto the law of our God, ye people of Gomorrah. 11 What unto me is the multitude of your sacrifices, saith Jehovah, I have had enough of the burnt offerings of rams, and the fat of fat beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he-goats. 12 When ye come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hand, to trample my courts? 13 Bring no more vain oblations, incense is an abomination unto me, new moon and Sabbath, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with iniquity. And the solemn meeting. 14 Your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hateth, they are a trouble unto me, I am weary of bearing them. 15 And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you, yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear, your hands are full of blood. 16 Wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes, cease to do evil. 17 Learn to do well, seek justice, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widow. 18 Come now, and let us reason together, saith Jehovah, though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow, though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. 19 If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. 20 But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of Jehovah hath spoken it. 21 How is the faithful city become a harlot, she that was full of justice, righteousness lodged in her, but now murderers. 22 Thy silver is become dross, thy wine mixed with water. 23 Thy princes are rebellious, and companions of thieves, every one loveth bribes, and followeth after rewards, they judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. 24 Therefore saith the Lord, Jehovah of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of mine adversaries, and avenge me of mine enemies. 25 And I will turn my hand upon thee, and thoroughly purge away thy dross, and will take away all thy tin. 26 And I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, a faithful town. 27 Zion shall be redeemed with justice, and her converts with righteousness. 28 But the destruction of transgressors and sinners shall be together, and they that forsake Jehovah shall be consumed. 29 For they shall be ashamed of the oaks which ye have desired, and ye shall be confounded for the gardens that ye have chosen. 30 For ye shall be as an oak whose leaf fatteth, and as a garden that hath no water. 31 And the strong shall be as tow, and his work as a spar, and they shall both burn together, and none shall quench them. Isaiah 2:1 The word that Isaiah the son of Amoz saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. 2 And it shall come to pass in the latter days, that the mountain of Jehovah's house shall be established on the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. 3 And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Jehovah, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Jehovah from Jerusalem. 4 And he will judge between the nations, and will decide concerning many peoples, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. 5 O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of Jehovah. 6 For thou hast forsaken thy people the house of Jacob, because they are filled with customs from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they strike hands with the children of foreign foreigners 7 And their land is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land also is full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots 8 Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made 9 And the mean man is bowed down, and the great man is brought low. Therefore forgive them not. 10 Enter into the rock, and hide thee in the dust, from before the terror of Jehovah, and from the glory of his majesty. 11 The lofty looks of man shall be brought low, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and Jehovah alone shall be exalted in that day. 12 For there shall be a day of Jehovah of hosts upon all that is proud and haughty, and upon all that is lifted up, and it shall be brought low. 13 And upon all the cedars of Lebanon, that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan. 14 And upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up. 15 And upon every lofty tower, and upon every fortified wall. 16 And upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant imagery. 17 And the loftiness of man shall be brought down, and the haughtiness of men shall be brought low, and Jehovah alone shall be exalted in that day. 18 And the idol shall utterly pass away. 19 And men shall go into the caves of the rocks, and into the holes of the earth, from before the terror of Jehovah, and from the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake mightily the earth. 20 In that day men shall cast away their idols of silver, and their idols of gold, which have been made for them to worship, to the moles and to the bats. 21 To go into the caverns of the rocks, and into the clefts of the ragged rocks, from before the terror of Jehovah, and from the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake mightily the earth. 22 Cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of? Isaiah 3:1-4 Behold, the Lord, Jehovah of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah stay and staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water, 2 The mighty man, and the man of war, the judge, and the prophet, and the diviner, and the elder, 3 The captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the expert artificer, and the skillful enchanter. 4 And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. 5 And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the old man, and the base against the honorable. 6 When a man shall take hold of his brother in the house of his father, saying, Thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. 7 In that day shall he lift up his voice, saying, I will not be a healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Ye shall not make me ruler of the people. 8 For Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Jehovah, to provoke the eyes of his glory. 9 The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom, they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have done evil unto themselves. 10 Say ye of the righteous, that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. 11 Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for what his hands have done shall be done unto him. 12 As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they that lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. 13 Jehovah standeth up to contend, and standeth to judge the peoples. 14 Jehovah will enter into judgment with the elders of his people, and the princes thereof. It is ye that have eaten up the vineyard, the spoil of the poor is in your houses. 15 What mean ye that ye crush my people, and grind the face of the poor, saith the Lord, Jehovah of hosts. 16 Moreover Jehovah said, Because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with outstretched necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. 17 Therefore the Lord will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Jehovah will lay bare their secret parts. 18 In that day the Lord will take away the beauty of their anklets, and the calls, and the crescents. 19 The pendants, and the bracelets, and the mufflers. 20 The head tires, and the ankle chains, and the sashes, and the perfume boxes, and the amulets. 21 The rings, and the nose jewels. 22 The festival robes, and the mantles, and the shawls, and the satchels. 23 The hand mirrors, and the fine linen, and the turbans, and the veils. 24 And it shall come to pass, that instead of sweet spices there shall be rottenness, and instead of a girdle, a robe, and instead of well-set hair, baldness, and instead of a robe, a girding of sackcloth, branding instead of beauty. 25 Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. 26 And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she shall be desolate and sit upon the ground. Isaiah 4:1 And 7 Women shall take hold of one man in that day, saying, We will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name. take thou away our reproach too. In that day shall the branch of Jehovah be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the land shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. 3 And it shall come to pass, that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. For when the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of burning. 5 And Jehovah will create over the whole habitation of Mount Zion, and over her assemblies, a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For over all the glory shall be spread a covering. 6 And there shall be a pavilion for a shade in the daytime from the heat, and for a refuge and for a covert from storm and from rain. Isaiah 5:1 Let me sing for my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved had a vineyard in a very fruitful hill. 2 And he digged it, and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also hewed out a winepress therein, and he looked that it should bring forth grapes. And it brought forth wild grapes. 3 And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. For what could have been done more to my vineyard, that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. 5 And now I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up. I will break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. 6 And I will lay it waste. It shall not be proved nor hoed, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. 7 For the vineyard of Jehovah of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah.
Waiting for Perry. Paired.
That lay field to field, till there be no room, and ye be made to dwell alone in the midst of the land. 9 And mine ear saith Jehovah of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant. 10 For 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one bath, and a homer of seed shall yield but an ephah. 11 Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink. And the shining of a flaming fire by night. For over all the glory shall be spread a covering. 6 And there shall be a pavilion for a shade in the daytime from the heat, and for a refuge and for a covert from storm and from rain. Isaiah 5:1 Let me sing for my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved had a vineyard in a very fruitful hill. 2 And he digged it, and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also hewed out a winepress therein, and he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. 3 And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. For what could have been done more to my vineyard, that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes.
Goddamn bitch.
Waiting for Perry. Paired.
Nor hope, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. 7 For the vineyard of Jehovah of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plan. And he looked for justice, but, behold, oppression, for righteousness, but, behold, a cry. 8 Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no room, and ye be made to dwell alone in the midst of the land. 9 And mine ear saith Jehovah of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant. 10 For 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one bath, and a homer of seed shall yield but an ephah. 11 Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that tarry late into the night, till wine inflame them. 12 And the harp and the lute, the tabret and the pipe, and wine, are in their feasts. But they regard not the work of Jehovah, neither have they considered the operation of his hands. 13 Therefore my people are gone into captivity for lack of knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude are parched with thirst. 14 Therefore Sheol hath enlarged its desire, and opened its mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth among them, descend into it. 15 And the mean man is bowed down, and the great man is humble, and the eyes of the lofty are humble. 16 But Jehovah of hosts is exalted in justice, and God the Holy One is sanctified in righteousness. 17 Then shall the lambs feed as in their pasture, and the waste places of the fat ones shall wanderers eat. 18 Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of falsehood, and sin as it were with a cart rope. 19 That say, Let him make speed, let him hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. 20 Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. 21 Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes, and prudent in their own sight. 22 Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink. 23 That justify the wicked for a bribe, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. 24 Therefore as the tongue of fire devoureth the stubble, and as the dry grass seen cooked down in the flame, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have rejected the law of Jehovah of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. 25 Therefore is the anger of Jehovah kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and hath smitten them, and the mountains tremble, and their dead bodies are as refuse in the midst of the streets. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 26 And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss for them from the end of the earth, when, behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. 27 One shall be weary nor stumble among them, one shall slumber nor sleep, neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosed, nor the latchet of their shoes be broken. 28 Whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows bent, their horses' hoofs shall be accounted as flint, and their wheels as a whirlwind. 29 Their roaring shall be like a lioness, they shall roar like young lions, yea, they shall roar, and lay hold of the prey, and carry it away safe, and there shall be none to deliver. 30 And they shall roar against them in that day like the roaring of the sea, and if one look unto the land, behold, darkness and distress, and the light is darkened in the clouds thereof. Isaiah 6 1 In the year that King Uzziah died I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. 2 Above him stood the seraphim, each one had 6 wings, with 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he did fly through, and one cried unto another, and said, Holy, 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 is Jehovah of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. 4 And the foundations of the thresholds shook at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. 5 Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of the people of unclean lips, for mine eyes have seen the King, Jehovah of hosts. 6 Then flew one of the seraphim unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongues from off the altar. 7 And he touched my mouth with it, and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and mine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin forgiven. 8 And I heard the voice of the Lord, saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, Here am I, send me mine. And he said, Go, and tell this people, Hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not, to make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and turn again, and be healed. 11 Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, Until cities be waste without inhabitant, and houses without men, and the land become utterly waste. 12 And Jehovah had removed men far away, and the forsaken places be many in the midst of the land. 13 And if there be yet a tenth in it, it also shall in turn be eaten up, as a terebinth, and as an oak, whose stock remaineth, when they are felled, so the holy seed is the stock thereof. Isaiah 7 1 And it came to pass in the days of Ahaz the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, that Rezin the king of Syria, and Pekah the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, went up to Jerusalem to war against it, but could not prevail against it. 2 And it was told the house of David, saying, Syria is confederate with Ephraim, and his heart trembled, and the heart of his people, as the trees of the forest tremble with the wind. 3 Then said Jehovah unto Isaiah, Go forth now to meet Ahaz, thou, and Shear-Jashub thy son, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool, in the highway of the fuller's field. 4 And say unto him, Take heed, and be quiet, fear not, neither let thy heart be faint, because of these two tales of smoke and firebrands. for the fierce anger of Rezin and Syria, and of the son of Remaliah 5 because Syria, Ephraim, and the son of Remaliah, have purposed evil against thee, saying, 6 Let us go up against Judah, and vex it, and let us make a breach therein for us, and set up a king in the midst of it, even the son of Tabiah. 7 Thus saith the Lord Jehovah, it shall not stand, neither shall it come to pass. 8 For the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin, and within 65 years shall Ephraim be broken in pieces, so that it shall not be a people. 9 And the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is Remaliah's son. If ye will not believe, surely ye shall not be established. 10 And Jehovah spake again unto Ahaz, saying, 11 Ask thee a sign of Jehovah thy God, ask it either in the depth, or in the height above. 12 But Ahaz said, I will not ask, neither will I tempt Jehovah. 13 And he said, Hear ye now, O house of David, is it a small thing for you to weary men, that ye will weary my God also? 14 Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive, and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. 15 Butter and honey shall be thee, when he knoweth to refuse the evil, and choose the good. 16 For before the child shall know to refuse the evil, and choose the good, the land whose 2 kings thou upholdest shall be forsaken. 17 Jehovah will bring upon thee, and upon thy people, and upon thy father's house, days that have not come, from the day that Ephraim departed from Judah, even the king of Assyria. 18 And it shall come to pass in that day, that Jehovah will hiss for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. 19 And they shall come, and shall rest all of them in the desolate valleys, and in the clefts of the rocks, and upon all thorn hedges, and upon all pastures. 20 In that day will the Lord shake with the razor that is hired in the parts beyond the river, even with the king of Assyria, the head and the hair of the feet, and it shall also consume the beard. 21 And it shall come to pass in that day, that a man shall keep alive a young cow, and 2 sheep. 22 And it shall come to pass, that because of the abundance of milk which they shall give he shall eat butter, for butter and honey shall every one eat that is left in the midst of the land. 23 And it shall come to pass in that day, that every place, where there were 1,000 vines at 1,000 silverlings, shall be for briars and thorns. 24 With arrows and with bows shall one come hither, because all the land shall be briars and thorns. 25 And all the hills that were digged with the matter, thou shalt not come hither for fear of briars and thorns, but it shall be for the sending forth of oxen, and for the treading of sheep. Milk which they shall give he shall eat butter, for butter and honey shall every one eat that is left in the midst of the land. 23 And it shall come to pass in that day, that every place, where there were 1,000 vines at 1,000 silverlings, shall be for briars and thorns. 24 With arrows and with bows shall one come hither, because all the land shall be briars and thorns. 25 And all the hills that were digged with the matter, thou shalt not come hither for fear of briars and thorns, but it shall be for the sending forth of oxen, and for the treading of sheep. Isaiah 8:1 And Jehovah said unto me, Take thee a great tablet, and write upon it with the pen of a man, for Mayor Shallow Hashbaz. 2 And I will take unto me faithful witnesses to record, Uriah the priest, and Zechariah the son of Jeberechiah. 3 And I went unto the prophetess, and she conceived, and bare a son. Then said Jehovah unto me, Call his name Mayor Shallow Hashbaz. 4 For before the child shall have knowledge to cry, My father, and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be carried away before the king of Assyria. 5 And Jehovah spake unto me yet again, saying, 6 Forasmuch as this people have refused the waters of Shiloh that go softly, and rejoice in Rezin and Remaliah's son. 7 Now therefore, behold, the Lord bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria and all his glory, and it shall come up over all its channels, and go over all its banks. 8 And it shall sweep onward into Judah, it shall overflow and pass through, it shall reach even to the neck, and the stretching out of its wings shall fill the breadth of thy land. O Emmanuel, 9 Make an uproar, all ye peoples, and be broken in pieces, and give ear, all ye of far countries, gird yourselves, and be broken in pieces, gird yourselves, and be broken in pieces. 10 Take counsel together, and it shall be brought to naught, speak the word, and it shall not stand. 4 God is with us. 11 For Jehovah spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me not to walk in the way of this people, saying, 12 Say ye not, a conspiracy, concerning all whereof this people shall say, a conspiracy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be in dread thereof. 13 Jehovah of hosts, Him shall ye sanctify, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. 14 And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. 15 And many shall stumble thereon, and fall, and be broken, and be snared, and be taken. 16 Bind thou up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. 17 And I will wait for Jehovah, that hid up his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. 18 Behold, I and the children whom Jehovah hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel from Jehovah of hosts, who dwelleth in Mount Zion. 19 And when they shall say unto you, Seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto the wizards that chirp and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their God on behalf of the living? Should they seek unto the dead? 20 To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, surely there is no mourning for them. 21 And they shall pass through it, sore distressed and hungry, and it shall come to pass that, when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves, and curse by their king and by their God, and turn their faces upward. 22 And they shall look unto the earth, and behold, distress and darkness, the gloom of anguish, and into thick darkness they shall be driven away. Isaiah 9:1 But there shall be no gloom to her that was in anguish. In the former time he brought into contempt the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, but in the latter time hath he made it glorious, by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the nations. Too the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light, they that dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. 3 Thou hast multiplied the nation, thou hast increased their joy, they joy before thee according to the joy in harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. 4 For the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, thou hast broken as in the day of Midian. 5 For all the armor of the armed man in the tumult, and the garments rolled in blood, shall be for burning, for fuel of fire. 6 For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. 7 The increase of his government and of peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom, to establish it, and to uphold it with justice and with righteousness from henceforth even forever. The zeal of Jehovah of hosts will perform this. 8 The Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it hath lighted upon Israel. 9 And all the people shall know, even Ephraim and the inhabitant of Samaria, that say in pride and in stoutness of heart, 10 The bricks are fallen, but we will build with hewn stone. The sycamores are cut down, but we will put cedars in their place. 11 Therefore Jehovah will set up on high against him the adversaries of Rezin, and will stir up his enemies. 12 The Syrians before, and the Philistines behind, and they shall devour Israel with open mouth. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 13 Yet the people have not turned unto him that smote them, neither have they sought Jehovah of hosts. 14 Therefore Jehovah will cut off from Israel head and tail, palm, branch and rush, in one day. 15 The elder and the honorable man, he is the head, and the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. 16 For they that lead this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. 17 Therefore the Lord will not rejoice over their young men, neither will he have compassion on their fatherless and widows. For every one is profane and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 18 For wickedness burneth as the fire, it devoureth the briars and thorns, yea, it kindleth in the thickets of the forest, and they roll upward in a column of smoke. 19 Through the wrath of Jehovah of hosts is the land burnt up, and the people are as the fuel of fire. No man spareth his brother. 20 And one shall snatch on the right hand, and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. 21 Manasseh, Ephraim, and Ephraim, Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. 3 Thou hast multiplied the nation, thou hast increased their joy. They joy before thee according to the joy in harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. 4 For the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, thou hast broken as in the day of Midian. 5 For all the armor of the armed man in the tumult, and the garments rolled in blood, shall be for burning, for fuel of fire. 6 For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. 7 Of the increase of his government and of peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom, to establish it, and to uphold it with justice and with righteousness from henceforth even forever. The zeal of Jehovah of hosts will perform this. 8 The Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it hath lighted upon Israel. 9 And all the people shall know, even Ephraim and the inhabitant of Samaria, that say in pride and in stoutness of heart, 10 The bricks are fallen, but we will build with hewn stone. The sycamores are cut down, but we will put cedars in their place. 11 Therefore Jehovah will set up on high against him the adversaries of Rezin, and will stir up his enemies. 12 The Syrians before, and the Philistines behind, and they shall devour Israel with open mouth. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 13 Yet the people have not turned unto him that smote them, neither have they sought Jehovah of hosts. 14 Therefore Jehovah will cut off from Israel head and tail, palm, branch and rush, in one day. 15 The elder and the honorable man, he is the head, and the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. 16 For they that lead this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. 17 Therefore the Lord will not rejoice over their young men, neither will he have compassion on their fatherless and widows. For every one is profane and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 18 For wickedness burneth as the fire, it devoureth the briars and thorns, yea, it kindleth in the thickets of the forest, and they roll upward in a column of smoke. 19 Through the wrath of Jehovah of hosts is the land burnt up, and the people are as the fuel of fire. No man spareth his brother. 20 And one shall snatch on the right hand, and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. 21 Manasseh, Ephraim, and Ephraim, Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Kindleth in the thickets of the forest, and they roll upward in a column of smoke. 19 Through the wrath of Jehovah of hosts is the land burnt up, and the people are as the fuel of fire. No man spareth his brother. 20 And one shall snatch on the right hand, and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. 21 Manasseh, Ephraim, and Ephraim, Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Isaiah 10:1 Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and to the writers that write perverseness. 2 To turn aside the needy from justice, and to rob the poor of my people of their right, that widows may be their spoil, and that they may make the fatherless their prey. 3 And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye
share
leave your
your
glory? For they
locations
shall
with
only
the
go
group.
down under the prisoners, and shall fall under the slain. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 5 Ho Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, the staff in whose hand is mine indignation. 6 I will send him against a profane nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. 7 Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy, and to cut off nations, not a few. 8 For he saith, Are not my princes all of them kings? 9 Is not Calno as Carchemish? Is not Hamath as Arpad? Is not Samaria as Damascus? 10 As my hand hath found the kingdoms of the idols, whose graven images did excel them, of Jerusalem and of Samaria. 11 Shall I not, as I have done unto Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols? 12 Wherefore it shall come to pass, that, when the Lord hath performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria, and the glory of his high looks. 13 For he hath said, By the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I have understanding, and I have removed the bounds of the peoples, and have robbed their treasures, and like a valiant man I have brought down them that sit on thrones. 14 And my hand hath found as a nest the riches of the peoples, and as one gathereth eggs that are forsaken, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wing, or that opened the mouth, or chirped. 15 Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Shall the saw magnify itself against him that wieldeth it? As if a rod should wield them that lift it up, or as if a staff should lift up him that is not wood. 16 Therefore will the Lord, Jehovah of hosts, send among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory there shall be kindled a burning like the burning of fire. 17 And the light of Israel will be for a fire, and his Holy One for a flame, and it will burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day. 18 And he will consume the glory of his forest, and of his fruitful field, both soul and body, and it shall be as when a standard bearer fainteth. 19 And the remnant of the trees of his forest shall be few, so that a child may write them. 20 And it shall come to pass in that day, that the remnant of Israel, and they that are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again lean upon him that smote them, but shall lean upon Jehovah, the Holy One of Israel. In truth. 21 A remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. 22 For though thy people, Israel, be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them shall return. A destruction is determined, overflowing with righteousness. 23 For a full end, and that determined, will the Lord, Jehovah of hosts, make in the midst of all the earth. 24 Therefore thus saith the Lord, Jehovah of hosts, O my people that dwellest in Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrian, though he smite thee with the rod, and lift up his staff against thee, after the manner of Egypt. 25 For yet a very little while, and the indignation against thee shall be accomplished, and mine anger shall be directed to his destruction. 26 And Jehovah of hosts will stir up against him a scourge, as in the slaughter of Midian at the rock of Orem, and his rod will be over the sea, and he will lift it up after the manner of Egypt. 27 And it shall come to pass in that day, that his burden shall depart from off thy shoulder, and his yoke from off thy neck, and the yoke shall be destroyed by reason of fatness. 28 He is come to Ain, he is passed through Migron, at Michmash he layeth up his baggage. 29 They are gone over the pass, they have taken up their lodging at Geba. Ramah trembleth, Gibeah of Saul is fled. 30 Cry aloud with thy voice, O daughter of Gallim, hearken, O Lasha, O thou Paranathoth. 31 Madmenah is a fugitive, the inhabitants of Jebim flee for safety. 32 This very day shall he halt of not, he shacketh his hand at the mount of the daughter of Zion, the hill of Jerusalem. 33 Behold, the Lord, Jehovah of hosts, will lock the boss with terror, and the high of stature shall be hewn down, and the lofty shall be brought low. 34 And he will cut down the thickets of the forest with iron, and Lebanon shall fall by a mighty one. Isaiah 11. 1 And there shall come forth a shoot out of the stock of Jesse, and the branch out of his roots shall bear fruit 2 And the Spirit of Jehovah shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Jehovah 3 And his delight shall be in the fear of Jehovah, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither decide after the hearing of his ears. 4 But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and decide with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. 5 And righteousness shall be the girdle of his ways, and faithfulness the girdle of his loins. 6 And the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. 7 And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. 8 And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the adder's den. 9 They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Jehovah, as the waters cover the sea. 10 And it shall come to pass in that day, that the root of Jesse, that standeth for an ensign of the peoples, unto him shall the nations see, and his resting place shall be glorious. 11 And it shall come to pass in that day, that the Lord will set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, that shall remain, from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. 12 And he will set up an ensign for the nations, and will assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. 13 The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and they that vex Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. 14 And they shall fly down upon the shoulder of the Philistines on the west, together shall they despoil the children of the east. They shall put forth their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. 15 And Jehovah will utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his scorching wind will he wave his hand over the river, and will smite it into 7 streams, and cause men to march over Drishad. 16 And there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people, that shall remain, from Assyria, like as there was for Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. Isaiah 12:1 And in that day thou shalt say, I will give thanks unto thee, O Jehovah, for though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me too. Behold, God is my salvation, I will trust, and will not be afraid. For Jehovah, even Jehovah, is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. 3 Therefore with joy shall ye draw water out of the wells of salvation. 4 And in that day shall ye say, Give thanks unto Jehovah, call upon his name, declare his doings among the peoples, make mention that his name is exalted. 5 Sing unto Jehovah, for he hath done excellent things, let this be known in all the earth. 6 Cry aloud and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion, for great in the midst of thee is the Holy One of Israel. Isaiah 13:1 The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. 2 Set ye up an ensign upon the bare mountain, lift up the voice unto them, wave the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. 3 I have commanded my consecrated ones, yea, I have called my mighty men for mine anger, even my proudly exulting ones for the noise of the multitude in the mountains, as of a great people, the noise of a tumult of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. Jehovah of hosts is mustering the host for the battle. 5 They come from a far country, from the uttermost part of heaven, even Jehovah, and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. 6 Wail ye, for the day of Jehovah is at hand, as destruction from the Almighty shall it come. 7 Therefore shall all hands be feeble, and every heart of man shall melt. 8 And they shall be dismayed, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them, they shall be in pain as a woman in travail, they shall look in amazement one at another, their faces shall be faces of flame. 9 Behold, the day of Jehovah cometh, cruel, with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land a desolation, and to destroy the sinners thereof out of it. 10 For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light, the sun shall be darkened in its going forth, and the moon shall not cause its light to shine. 11 And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. 12 I will make a man more rare than fine gold, even a man than the pure gold of Ophir. 13 Therefore I will make the heavens to tremble, and the earth shall be shaken out of its place, in the wrath of Jehovah of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. 14 And it shall come to pass, that is the chaste roe, and the sheep that no man gathereth, They shall turn every man to his own people, and shall flee every man to his own land. 15 Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is taken shall fall by the sword. 16 Their infants also shall be dashed in pieces before their eyes, their houses shall be rifled, and their wives ravished. 17 Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, who shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. 18 And their bows shall dash the young men in pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, their eyes shall not spare children. 19 And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' pride, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. 20 It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall shepherds make their flocks to lie down there. 21 But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and ostriches shall dwell there, and wild goats shall dance there. 22 And wolves shall cry in their castles, and jackals in the pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Isaiah 14:1 For Jehovah will have compassion on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the sojourner shall join himself with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob too, and the people shall take them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Jehovah for servants and for handmaids, and they shall take them captive whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. 3 And it shall come to pass in the day that Jehovah shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy trouble, and from the hard service wherein thou wast made to serve, for that thou shalt take up this parable against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. 5 Jehovah hath broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers. 6 That smote the peoples in wrath with a continual stroke, that ruled the nations in anger, with a persecution that none restrained. 7 The whole earth is at rest, and is quiet, they break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid low, no hewer is come up against us. 9 Sheol from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, it stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth, it hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. 10 All they shall answer and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? 11 Thy pomp is brought down to Sheol, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and worms cover thee. 12 How art thou fallen from heaven, O day star, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, that didst lay low the nations. 13 And thou saidst in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit upon the mount of congregation, in the uttermost parts of the north. 14 I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, I will make myself like the Most High. 15 Yet thou shalt be brought down to Sheol, to the uttermost parts of the pit. 16 They that see thee shall gaze at thee, they shall consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? 17 That made the world as a wilderness, and overthrew the cities thereof, that let not loose his prisoners to their home. 18 All the kings of the nations, all of them, sleep in glory, every one in his own house. 19 But thou art cast forth away from thy sepulchre like an abominable branch, clothed with the slain, that are thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a dead body trodden under foot. 20 Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land, thou hast slain thy people, the seed of evil,